and I'm the founder of AdexaLabz. A little bit about myself. I qualified as a biomedical scientist from Cambridge University Teaching Hospital so many years ago, almost 20 years ago now. And from there, I worked at University of South Manchester, then went for another postgraduate training at Imperial College Hospital in London. And from there, I started working across the world. I worked in Orkney Islands, Gibraltar, Ireland, Scotland, wherever, and of course, Northern Ireland. And I found a persistent problem wherever I went, and it was a case of me spending about 4 hours on the phone every day, talking to doctors, nurses, GPs, and at times patients. And I thought about how my valuable skills as a scientist were being wasted just sat on the phone talking to people. And I thought, there must be another way. If I'm not talking on the phone, I'm using streams and reams of paper, writing notes, writing reports, and documenting everything that goes on in medical laboratories. Much more, when I go to my GP and I have a blood test and I call back for a result, all I'm hearing is, you're fine, everything is okay. But the question is, what does okay mean? At worst, they will tell me to come in for a paper of my blood, and then I go interpret myself. And this was what actually birthed AdexaLabz. 6 years ago, I competed in a competition at NHS Southeast England where I won the best innovation for pathology. And it was on the same concept of effective communication within laboratories to medical staff and, of course, to the end users, which is everybody in this room. What is AdexaLabz? We are a cloud-based software platform, an app actually, that communicates especially critical medical results to doctors, to GPs, and other medical staff in real time, quicker, and in a way that they can understand without necessarily using the very obsolete pager system, telephone system, fax, or sending a paper through a portal. AdexaLabz is set to change the dynamics and the way we communicate and understand medical diagnostics. Of course, if we didn't even care about it, COVID brought about a total turnaround for everyone. We started understanding what biomedical scientists do. But with all of this is a lot of stress that comes to medical professionals. Biomedical staff like myself, GPs, doctors on the wards, everybody is stressed out with having to run after the pager, running after the phone, the noise pollution, the faxes, and all of that. And this is where we're coming. So AdexaLabz is here to bring an app that will communicate in real time, as I said, on color-coded formats as well, and in a way whereby additional tests can be run without necessarily having to print that extra paper or having to phone the lab or having to run into the lab to talk about it. So this is what we're doing, and the final one for you, the end users, is having your mobile blood test result in a way you can understand, in a way that you can transfer, and you can get a second opinion from another person if need be, all based on an app that is cloud-based and secure, and not for you like your bank account app is on your phone. Right, so I've told you a bit about myself. I've got two other people on the team with me. One is actually my former boss, and his name is Wayne Acris. He's head of pathology at the moment at Gibraltar Health Trust and a pathology IT manager. And then he works with all the British overseas territories as well, and the Channel Islands, their health trust. So we have quite a good network and connection, not just around the British territories, but the UK, and of course, other parts of Europe, especially the Iberian Peninsula. And thirdly, we have Jenny, who is one of the co-founder of Raise, who is our engine box as far as business development, counsel, finances, and all of that is concerned. Now, you can think about the market research that we've put into this. We developed a prototype that we actually tested with 185 GPs and asked them how it would be for them to receive critical results where they need to take quick action, and when these actions are not taken, what results is the deterioration of a patient or actually fatalities. In turn, what happens and a knock-on effect for laboratory staff are litigation issues. In an average laboratory, as I've said, I've worked across many hospitals, many laboratories, private and public. I have seen the same problem. So at the end of the day, we have at least 300 DATICs. If you understand what DATICs means, is the incident report that talks about either the near misses or the misses that result into fatalities. An average hospital lab has at least 300. That is at least one person per day. One death too many, if you ask me. So this is what we're saying. We want to change the narrative. We don't want the fatalities. We don't want the deterioration. We want doctors to be able to take action in good time, in real time, and in a tangible manner that will result into patients as well being able to take charge of their medical history and their medical stories and life choices. The market size is massive. We have over 300 labs in the UK. We have over 2,000 biomedical labs, in Europe. In the US, we have 186,000. And other parts of the world, as you may know, are varied as well. There are competitors who are into the digital medical space, but there is none that is totally committed and dedicated to biomedical pathology diagnosis like AdexaLabz. And that makes us unique, that makes us cutting edge, that makes us innovative, and that makes us revolutionary as well. And which is why we need to go straight in there, conduct all the other trials and research we need to do, and get this developed so that everybody can be empowered and our health status can be improved. The go-to-market strategy, our first port of call would be private GPs and private laboratories. In the UK, we have about 1,000 of those who are private, but generally we have over 10,000 GP surgeries. And as I said, we have over 300 labs attached to hospitals as well. So going into the private labs and private GPs, and from there moving on to the bureaucratic NHS system, where we can make a difference and turn lives around. The most beautiful for me as a biomedical staff is the amount of stress this will remove from myself and my colleagues. And of course, this will impact the doctors as well. When you reduce the amount of time they're running around to pick the pager to phone, to write a paper and send things, it's almost insane. You go into trauma ward or A&E and you think there is a crazy thing going on. And we want to change that by reducing the amount of stress, the chaos, and all the ruckus that goes on in there. And we believe, and the people that will pay for it, as part of our research, it's not just, would you like to use it? It's a case of, would you pay for this? At the GPs as well, the private GPs, the private laboratories. Because from our research study, every lab would save at least £100,000 a year just by using the platform and technology that AdexaLabz provides. At the moment, we have 3 parts of our technology being patented and in the UK, and we've got an international application for the US as well. And today, the ask is really very simple. We're at the MVP stage. As I said, we've developed the prototype, we've trialed it out, we've done our research with doctors and GPs and biomedical staff. We're asking for £50,000 for the MVP to just do our minimum viable and go into 3 or 4 laboratories to test it out. And 3 to 6 months down the line, we'll need £1.225 million to be able to develop the whole platform. We've got Magora Technology Company, which are based in London, and they have offices and connects across the world in Australia and the US as well. So we're working with a very robust, experienced and very skilled technology team who would work alongside with us on a long-term basis as our CTO. And finally, if you would like to discuss a bit more about this, if you would like to have more control over your medical results and see a turnaround for you, your family members, and see to it that those critical results are dealt with in real time as they should be and save lives, please do talk to me and ask me questions afterwards. Thank you very much.